The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the weekly SOS webinar. My name is Ken Shaw. I'm the CEO of SOS. I'm joined here today by Shaylin Herrick, our Director of B2B Marketing.
Good morning, afternoon.
We've also got Stephen Gold, our Business Development Manager. Hello. And Brian Salazar, who's one of our web marketing extraordinaires. We're also going to be joined today by our Vice President of Sales. It's a bit of an eclectic group. Usually these webinars are run by our Chief Sales Engineer or our Senior Product Manager, both of whom are out of the office this morning. So you've got me running the demonstration. Throughout the presentation today, we're going to cover a little bit about who SOS as a company is, and then we'll pivot pretty quickly to the technology. Thanks for all participating in the poll we just ran. Interesting results. 55% of today's audience is interested in hearing about server backup primarily. 45% of you are interested in workstation backup, and a grand sum of 0% of you are interested in laptop fleet backup, which is great, because if we hadn't known that, we would have spent a few minutes talking about laptop fleet backup. Can I just get an AV check to make sure that the video is coming through properly? You can see my screen. There's a questions tool in the GoToWebinar software you can use to ask us questions throughout the presentation. And if you use that now, just let us know that the video is coming through okay. Another really important reason to find that questions tool is that we're raffling off a Kindle today. And to go in the draw for that Kindle, you need to at least ask a question. So find that questions tool and ask a question throughout the presentation to go into the draw for that Kindle. All right, so let's dive in. Just a brief background on SOS. SOS Online Backup has been around a long time now, founded in 2001 originally in Australia. We're now a US-based company. We're headquartered in California. But our key focus and our product focus is online backup, cloud storage, moving a little bit into the collaboration space as well, but very much been a single-purpose company focused on having the best product in the market for online backup. We've won a lot of awards over the years, most notably 4 back-to-back PC Magazine Editor's Choice Awards for having a market-leading cloud backup solution. We certainly think it is, and lots of other people like the New York Times think it is as well. So do a bit of research online about us. You'll find a lot of reviews and articles about our technology, and we're generally regarded as having one of the leading, if not the leading, technology solutions in the space for online backup. I think what you'll also find is that our prices are sort of second to none. So what today's webinar is all about is replacing legacy backup technologies like disk backup, tape backup, mainly on-premises backup, with a solution like ours. And in the past, there's been this misconception that online backup solutions can't do things like Exchange backup and recovery or SQL Server backup and recovery. And hopefully today we'll be able to dispel some of those myths, particularly in the product demonstration part of things. Can I just take an audience poll and find out how many of you are actually using cloud backup today, or what kind of backup you're deploying today? Again, use the questions tool to let us know. What's the primary backup technology you're using today? Is it cloud? Is it on-premises tape? Is it on-premises disk? What are you using? Kevin says he's not using any backup. Well, Kevin, you need our help.
And we appreciate the honest answer.
Okay, so while you're all answering that, I'll sort of dive into some of these slides here. We've got some people using Rackspace Carbonite. Okay, that's great. We've got some people using SOS. We'd like to hear that. Okay, great. So the SOS product stack sort of looks like this. We've got sort of 3 key streams to our technology. We've got backup products designed for home users and consumers. Home office sort of comes into this category as well. Backup products for business, including our flagship business product, SOS ServerSave, which is what we're talking about here today. And then we've got our new range of products in the sync and collaboration space, which is soscollaborate.com. We won't be talking much about SOS Collaborate today, but there'll be other marketing events and webinars in the future that focus on those. Today we're mainly focused here in the middle column on the SOS business backup solutions. And just to sort of set some context, we're at an interesting time in the online backup space. We're seeing fairly rapid adoption of cloud backup by businesses, particularly in America. IDC's got a very interesting white paper that analyzes the future of cloud backup in small business America, where they surveyed 500 CTOs and CIOs in the United States and looked at the percentage of them that are currently using cloud backup versus the percentage of them who are intending on deploying cloud backup. And you can get that white paper off off our sales reps if you call in and ask for the IDC white paper, as long as what you're talking about. But the two most interesting stats in that report are really these two, the 16% and 69% here. The 16% of small business America today is using cloud backup in some form or fashion, but 69% have already stated an intention to actually deploy cloud backup inside the four walls of their IT environment. So fairly impressive statistics in terms of the intent to roll out cloud backup. And our mission is to try and make that as simple for you. So one of the calls to action from today's webinar is going to be to talk about sales reps, get yourselves a free trial, get us to help you set it up and start using the product so you can just see how easy it is and how less expensive it is than comparative backup technologies. I'm going to flip through some of these slides and start to pivot to the product so we can get to the product demo quickly. In terms of the way the webinar will run, we'll talk for about sort of another 10 minutes. Then we'll do the product demonstration, and then we'll do a Q&A session at the end of the webinar. So feel free to ask questions throughout, and we'll pause to take questions. Otherwise, you can just hold up your questions for the end, and we'll deal with them then. All right, so this slide here captures the sort of product design philosophy. Generally speaking, our mission is to try and back up all of your data, no matter where that data is sitting. So again, today we're focusing on our business solution. So we're looking at the right-hand side of this diagram, or the green planks. We've got products that will help you back up your desktops, whether they're PCs or Macs, laptops or workstations, doesn't really matter. Help you manage all those centrally through one pane of glass. So here we're really talking about backing up your entire business network, so 20, 30, 40 computers all at once, and then managing them centrally. And we'll see that in the product demo. Mobile backup, we're not going to see this in the demo today, but we've got products that will allow you to back up iPhone devices, iPad devices, any iOS device really, and then Android phones and tablets. So we're seeing more and more corporate data sitting here in this part of the network. Mobile backup is becoming more and more important. But really the bread and butter of backup for the last 20 years has been server backup, file servers, application servers, and then system state data on these servers. And with today's audience, 55% of you are interested in server backup, so this is sort of the heart of the ServerSave product. I'll start at the bottom with file data. The most common sort of backup deployment put in place in businesses these days is to back up the file server. So we've got a product which is tailor-made for this. This is really where online backup as an industry started. If you go back 10 years, really most online backup companies could handle file system data and couldn't really handle anything else. You know, companies like Legato and Veritas backup market, and that's starting to sort of, industry's getting more and more fragmented as technology companies like SOS are bringing solutions now that are a fifth of the price of something like Backup Exec, but do just as much stuff. We're going to see that in the demo momentarily. Going around to 3 o'clock on the clock, back up your application data. Here we're just talking about backing up all of your databases effectively. So SQL Server, Exchange Server, SharePoint Server. I've actually got another poll here for you. What kind of servers are you most interested in actually backing up? So, you know, among all of these sort of application servers, our view of the market is that this is really where most businesses' important data sits. So generally speaking, if you lose any of these things, the business is going to have a great deal of trouble staying in business. So far on the poll, we've got 43% saying SQL Server, 38% Exchange, 75% of you saying file servers, which makes sense because pretty much everybody's got a file server. 11% of you saying VMware, 11% saying SharePoint. Terrific. Okay, thanks for that. So in the demo, we're going to be focusing on Exchange. So that sounds like it's, well, Exchange and file servers. So that sounds like it's going to hit most of the audience. And then lastly, at 1 o'clock on the clock here, system state data. We're just talking about doing bare metal images, taking those images to the cloud, and then in the case of true disaster, we can even boot those virtual machines for you in the cloud, have them running in the cloud with our cloud boot servers, and give you access to them. So you've got true failover for site-level disaster recovery if you need it. We're going to see most of this in action today. So the ServerSave product looks like this. It's actually a bundle of products. Oh, hang on, I'm sorry, I just need to end that poll. Great. So it's actually a bundle of products when you buy the ServerSave program. You get the core SOS Online Backup and Recovery Manager, which is what does most of the work around compression, encryption, getting data to the cloud, getting data back from the cloud, helping you manage all of your recoveries. Our management dashboard that allows you to control all of your installations and deployments from a web browser, so you can install SOS on 50 computers and manage policies centrally, do reporting centrally. Exchange backup and granular recovery. Our EGR product lets you do exchange recovery at the full database level, or mailbox level, even down to the message level. It's a very powerful exchange recovery tool. Bare Metal Image Creator. This is just our bare metal backup product that allows you to do full volume and incremental disk images. And then our mobile backup product for Android and iPhone backup. In terms of just situating our product stack compared to the competitors, you can see here on this slide that the SOS ServerSave product sort of sits in a different class to products from Carbonite and Mozy, who are best known in the space. Our consumer product competes directly with Carbonite and Mozy. Our ServerSave product, though, is a bit of a different animal. It very much is designed to compete directly with something like Backup Exec. So for those of you who are familiar with the Backup Exec product line, or perhaps the Legato product line, or something like Dance Retrospect from EMC, ServerSave is far more aligned with those types of products than with the other cloud backup companies. So just walking through some of the more important features before we go to the demo. Everything you see being backed up today is going to be backed up with AES 256 or 128-bit encryption. AES is the protocol specified by NIST, which is a government body that determines what security protocols the government can use in encrypting its own data. Long story short, AES 256 is what's required to back up top secret government data. AES 128 is what's required to back up secret government data. So the level of encryption that we're using at SOS is extremely high. Your data is extremely safe. Our UltraSafe feature means that we cannot access the data that you back up to our cloud. So this is very important for people who are subject to things like the HIPAA regulations, who are subject to PCI compliance regulations, to Sarbanes-Oxley. Most of those regulatory frameworks require you to keep an off-site backup, an off-site archive, to have it be encrypted and versioned, and all of those things can be done just by deploying SOS Online Backup.
Well, on the topic of features, it would be great to get an idea from you what position in your organization you have. Are you IT managers? Are you office administrators? Are you a sole proprietorship and you're managing server backup and online backup yourself? That'll help us to talk about the right features and the features that are most of interest to you and your position.
And remember, you're going to use the questions tool to go in the drawer for that Kindle. So do let us know where you fit into the organization. Are you the IT guy? Are you the owner? And also, one last poll. I know these can be a little bit annoying. Give us a sense of what sort of environment you've got, because that also very much tailors the product demo that we'll do. So how many employees are in your company? Okay, great. So most of you are saying between 10 and 50 or less than 10. So we'll focus on, some of the smaller network deployment technologies that we've got rather than the mass deployment technologies.
Okay, we've got Brad, the sysadmin, JR is IT and Chief Operating Officer, Debbie's Office Administrator in IT. Okay.
Terrific. Okay, thanks. So other features that are really important in the SOS product, backup to local drives, so you can use this to back up locally as well as to the cloud. Web access to files, you can access your files anywhere in the world. Mobile device access, again, right, if you've just got an iPhone or an Android device, any data that you back up to the cloud is available to you directly from a mobile device. SOS Forever Save, automatic and infinite archiving. We're going to see this in the demo, but this is really just saying that we'll never delete data from our cloud. If you use Carbonite or Mozy, if you disconnect the device you're backing up with them, they'll then automatically purge the data from their cloud 30 days later. We'll never do that. We'll always keep data until you tell us to remove it. Network driving NAS backup. This is something that Carbonite and Mozy usually lock down in their most basic products. They don't let you back up other items on the network if they want you to buy more seats. SOS is a very sort of all-you-can-eat pricing policy, so all these features just come with the basic product out of the box. Unlimited file version saved. This is a good one. Every version of a file is backed up and saved in the cloud. So if you've got a file that's changing every day for 365 days, then we're keeping every single version of that. All the competitors will store 30 versions. So someone like Mozy will tell you that, hey, we can keep 30 months worth of backup, but that of course assumes that the file's only changing once a month. We think that's rubbish. So we keep every single version of every single file that ever changes and allow you to roll back at any point in time, which is a very powerful feature. It nearly lets you use the product doubling as a simple document management and archiving system, which is quite powerful. And a lot of these other features we're going to see in the demo. But social backup, you can back up your Facebook account. Soon we'll be able to back up Google Apps and Gmail. Mobile backup we've talked about. Sync, this is from the system product, SOS Collaborate. Bare metal backup and recovery, physical to virtual conversion, and then application backup. So let's power on and get to a product demonstration. I'll show a couple of other things before we go to the product demo. The first thing is our global data center footprint. It looks like this. So as a ServerSave customer, not a regular file folder customer, but a ServerSave customer, you can specify which data center you want your data to go to. Otherwise, we just use the nearest data center to your location. So we've got data centers all around the world. If you look at a very sophisticated deployment of SOS, it can look like this. Because of the audience today, with most of you being in small businesses, we won't sort of go through all of this, but it just gives you a vision of how SOS can look in a small enterprise environment. So we can be backing up all of our laptops to a company private cloud, all of our servers, all of our mobile devices. We can then be managing all of that through a central administration panel, and then replicating off to the SOS public cloud. So this is a solution that can scale up to small enterprises, and it's a very powerful enterprise solution, but it can also scale right down and be a very cost-effective solution for small businesses. And so in today's product demo, we're going to go through the management dashboard, although we won't spend a ton of time on that given the audience segment. We'll look at backing up a file server, see how simple that is. We'll do an exchange recovery so we can see the different options for exchange recovery at the database and mailbox and message level. And then we'll just look at some of the general cloud interfaces. I will bring up this diagram, though, just to sort of show the way this can be deployed. There are three variations sort of depicted on this slide. The right-hand side of the slide is just the SOS cloud, so you can sort of ignore that. Down the bottom here, we've got what we call endpoints. We're talking about laptops, whether they be PCs or Macs, workstations, iPads, iPhones, Androids, Android tablets. All of these kinds of devices are just going to back up straight to the SOS cloud. We've got native apps for all of them. Install that app, use your account, back up. No real complexity there. In a company environment, though, you've got a few more options. You can back up your servers directly to the SOS cloud. Our recommendation there is if you're backing up less than a terabyte, that's appropriate. Once you're backing up more than a terabyte of data, we recommend this pattern at the top, where you'll back up from whatever you're protecting to a staging server, which will help you set up and you can run with our product, and then we'll replicate from the staging server off to our cloud. So this way backups will happen both instantly across the local network and then replicate off site. Now before I go to the demo, do you have any questions? You're a relatively quiet audience. We've got one question here from Wuri. What are the differences between SOS ServerSave and SOS Online Backup for Business? Is SOS Online Backup for Business a subset of SOS ServerSave? Does SOS ServerSave include SOS Online Backup for Business? Well, Jeff will help me out in answering this, but I think you can probably look at it as a subset, Wuri.
Yeah, the big thing, Wuri, difference-wise with the ServerSave offering versus our more traditional file and folder is the type of data and the functionality required. For the more robust requirements of a server, we certainly utilize the ServerSave technology. It enables bare metal imaging, exchange granular restore, whereas the typical SOS for business file and folder is just that. It's just for file and folder. You need to be able to protect your Excel files, but not necessarily your Excel program. For the other more robust requirements, we do suggest the ServerSave platform.
And where you can see some of the specific feature differences here. So in SOS for Business, we've got no bare metal, no physical to virtual conversion. It doesn't back up Exchange servers, SQL servers, SharePoint servers. You've still got the central management and reporting capabilities we're going to see, but you also don't get the Exchange granular recovery. So SOS for Business is great if you're doing workstations and laptops and backing up Excel files, not so much for servers. We don't have any other questions on the line at the moment, so we'll power on into the demo. All right, so the first thing we're going to look at in the demo is, oh, sorry, I've got it on the wrong screen. Bear with me one moment. Okay, so here on the screen, you can see we've got a remote desktop window, and that will only be taking up part of the screen. I apologize for that. It may be too small. Yeah, just let me know if it's too small, and we can resize it. Otherwise, hopefully it's hopefully it's the appropriate size. In the middle of the screen here, we've got the SOS Core Online Backup and Recovery Manager. So the Online Backup and Recovery Manager, which is it's the heart of the SOS product. There's technology that's shared across all of our product streams, whether it's the product we sell through our channel, whether it's ServerSave, SOS for Business, or even SOS for Home. There are some elements that are the same between all of them. The core backup experience is right here. You can set up either your backup to the cloud or local backup. So local backup is backing up to the network, perhaps backing up to a staging server. Setting up online backup is going directly from this server that we're working on directly to the SOS cloud. Setting up your backups is pretty simple. In this backup's already set up, and on this machine we're doing bare metal backups of the C drive to the F drive. So you'll see here that the F drive is filled with bare metal images that we want to back up. Those backups are happening every hour. So I'm just going to click through this wizard here. I can set up to get email backup reports sent to me. I can schedule backups to happen hourly, daily, weekly, or monthly. I can have backups run under any domain account, so the default is that they'll run under the Windows user account that you installed with. If I click Finish now, the backup's actually going to kick off, and you can see in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen here that the backup's actually running. Backup's now finished, super fast, and a report's been sent to my email address. When I open that up, you'll actually see that nothing happened. What it did was it scanned everything, the 9 gigs of data that I was protecting, didn't find any changes, so it actually didn't do any work. Now, if I want to look at how I can restore from that backup, I've got a whole bunch of options. First option is to use the web-based portal. And so we get an error in IE because just the way security works on Windows Server 2008. The web-based portal lets you access any of your data from any web interface. We've got this particular account is actually sitting under a partner account, so you can see that this has been rebranded here. I can log out of this and I can show you the regular SOS portal. So you would go to our website, and this of course works from any mobile device. So in the top right-hand corner of our website here, you've got web login. We can all right, so there we go. Log into the web portal. Now, what the My Account portal does is just really allows you to get to your data simply and easily. So if you're away from the computer where you're running the SOS software, you can still get to it. You can see that I've got quite a few computers connected to my particular backup account. So I've got a whole heap of computers that I'm backing up to the cloud. From within this portal, I can also share any of my data. So as I'm clicking through my data, I've got options to share at the folder level and at the file level. I can recover directly from this web interface, manage my shares, and then even go into reporting and see some very useful user-level reporting. It's going to show me what machines have backed up when. I can do granular reporting on errors that might have occurred. What we're going to see later in the demo is the central management system, which gives network administrators much more detailed reports than this, but for standard users, this gives you a very good idea of when your last backups ran, any backups that might have had errors. So that's web-based recovery. Let's go back to the software briefly. Close this down. So in the software, I can run any of my restores and fire up the recovery wizard. If we go back to what we said earlier about the built-in archiving and the unlimited versioning, this wizard-based interface becomes pretty important, because if we're maintaining hundreds of thousands of versions of a particular file for you, then what you don't want to have to do is manage the versions. So we manage this for you. You can see here all these bold dates of when backups have run on my particular account. And you also heard me earlier talking about the fact that we keep data, we keep unlimited version history. So in this particular account, well, let's just have a look at my account and how it looks today. So you can see here that, I'm back in the other account. I've got 20 different computers here that we're backing up today, right? And these are various servers. Some of them are file servers. Some of them are running Exchange, as you can see here. So we've got all sorts of different servers in this group. But if we want to roll this back and have a look at, say, how this data environment looked in November or December of last year, we'll notice now there's only 6 or 7 servers that are in the account. So you've got the ability to roll back an entire group of machines and manage the recovery for your entire network through one single pane of glass. And you can then, of course, do a full system recovery. You could do an entire volume recovery, or we could just pick individual folders or files within these different directories that we want to recover. So you've got very granular recovery from being able to recover an entire server group, or just one disk, or just one folder, or just one file, or you can even select individual versions of that file. There's also the classic view, which some of our long-time users are big fans of, which is just a more very simple sort of tree view-driven structure that allows you to navigate through all your data that's being stored in the cloud. If we go across now and look at our Exchange recovery process, you can start to see a lot more of the power of the ServerSave product. So I've launched Exchange Granular Recovery, which is part of the ServerSave suite. When I first open it, I get prompted to open the Exchange database file. So I pointed at the file from the SOS Cloud, and it will then open this Exchange database file and show me inside of it 4 different mailboxes that have been backed up. I can now either open if I want to do a recovery, I can either recover to a live Exchange server or a PST file. So I can open the target PST, or in my case, I actually want to recover to a live Exchange server. So I've got a demo server sitting here that I can connect to. This is very useful both for Exchange recovery as well as Exchange migration scenarios, because what we're really doing here is just moving data from one Exchange box to another Exchange box. So with user 1 up here, I can drill in and actually look at all the different items within his mailbox. Remember here, I'm working with a backed up Exchange database. So I can see he's got a few different emails. I can open up individual emails if I want to. I can drag emails from this user down and put it back into user 1's mailbox if I so choose. Or I could even drag it and put it into somebody else's mailbox. If I want to do a full mailbox level recovery for user 1, I can simply drag user 1 from the top pane and drop it into the bottom pane. Similarly, if I wanted to recover the entire database, I could just go at the information store level, drag that down here, and drop it down here. I'm not going to do that because I've already done it in this particular demo. But your Exchange recovery options are extremely flexible, everything from full database recovery to mailbox level recovery, and all the way down to brick level recovery. Another very popular feature is the search option. So imagine you had 50 employees and you're looking for one particular email across your entire Exchange database. You can roll back to any point in time with SOS, grab the EDB, and then search across the entire EDB. So I just searched for emails containing the word Nortel, and I found 2 different emails. This is very useful for electronic discovery, or frankly, just the really typical scenario of one of the business execs accidentally deleted some email and the IT guy has to recover it. I know I've been guilty of making our IT guy do just that. So this tool is terrific for that. I'd say our users are mainly using this for Exchange recovery and Exchange migration scenarios. So because it's so easy to use this to move Exchange data and not just do a full database recovery, it's a very handy tool for Exchange migration scenarios as well. All right, so at this point, we've looked at a backup, we've looked at a recovery, and we've looked at an Exchange recovery. The last thing we're going to look at is the central management technology that we've got. So if you're in a network with more than, say, 10, 15 computers, managing the backups and managing, say, 50 computers all running backups, it becomes a very difficult task. Most of today's audience, 83% of today's audience say they've got less than 10 employees in their organization, so this may not be super relevant to you, but I'll just spend a minute on it for those of you who are in bigger organizations. This system lets you install the SOS software on every machine in your organization, see everything that's happening on those machines. You can go in and you can see all the backup sessions that are occurring. You can get detailed reports on any backups that have happened or had errors, for example. And then most powerfully, you can go and you can actually define backup policies. So rather than setting up a backup on every computer, you can see here that all these different deployments have a backup policy applied, and I can look at a policy and see what is involved in it. This backup policy says it should back up the E drive, the F drive, the J drive, and the D_files folder. So the Pulse system is fantastic for central management, central reporting, and then remote control of all of your backups without needing to do manual management. And this comes as part of the ServerSave Direct package. Okay, so I think just going back to our demo notes here, so what we just went through was we looked at the dashboard. We didn't look at the license management functionality, but we did look at user account management. We went through backup file server, back it up to the cloud directly, as well as we looked at how you could back it up to a staging environment with the local backup options. I actually didn't step through that, but I think you get the picture. I didn't do the backing up of an email server, but I did go straight to the Exchange granular recovery, so you can see that at the full database level, the mailbox level, and the message level. And we looked at the My Account Cloud that lets you access any of your data anywhere, share data with anybody, and get all of your basic reporting. So we're going to turn now to questions, if we've got any. Let's have a look here. So we've got quite a diverse group here. We've got people from the marketing department, we've got the CEO, me, we've got our head of sales here, Jeff McCauley, VP of Global Sales. So if you've got any questions on nearly any topic, this is a pretty good group to answer them for you.
I see that Steve has a question regarding his existing business package, and the inquiry is, how do you go about upgrading to a ServerSave platform? Very easily, Steve, and there's a few different options. I see below you typed in what your specific account was. What we can do is after this presentation, we can connect and give you your options. As I said, there's a few options that you have available. It's very easy to do that, and you can get all the granular restore for your Exchange server and all the benefits of your ServerSave platform right away.
And I've got a question for the audience. What do you think? How interested are you? Does this product meet your needs? Is it too much? I'd really love to get a sense of whether or not the ServerSave product is something that you're all interested in doing. And while you're thinking on that, let's answer some of these other questions. So Steve asked, how much to upgrade to this service? So for everybody, the basic pricing on everything you saw today is the ServerSave 1 package, which comes with 1 server seat and I think 200 endpoint seats. Is that right, Jeff?
250
cloud as well, and that's $129 per month, Steve. So very inexpensive. I'm sure that the data on your server is worth more than $129 a month. I bet your car insurance is roughly $129 a month, and this is insurance for your business, because if you lose your server and if you lose the data that's sitting on your SQL Server database or whatever you've got, it's going to be a far worse day than if you crash your car.
And in some cases, like you're a lawyer, or you have a CPA firm, or you're any kind of finance-related business, you must be able to restore your emails.
Right, but I mean, it's sort of it's just a conversational topic, but it's something I've always found amazing. That businesses will happily spend $200 a month on a cell phone bill, happily spend $129 a month for car insurance, but won't have a backup solution in place when you can do it as easily as we saw today for as inexpensive a list price as $129 a month.
Yeah, absolutely. And I hope those of you that are out there that are sole proprietors and are just learning how to do this definitely found that easy. I certainly think it's pretty easy.
And we can set it up for you as well. So if you're buying the ServerSave Direct program, our support reps can actually remote in and install it for you, no problem. So if you are running your own business and you don't have an IT guy, no issue. We can do it all for you. There's a question here about how much cloud space that comes with. That comes with 250 gigs of cloud space for the $129 a month.
And if you only have one server to back up, but you want more space, we can always add space. Steve
asks if we do SQL backup restore as well. Steve, yeah, we do. With SQL, there's not kind of the level of granularity you have with Exchange. So with Exchange, you can drill right in and look at the mailbox level or the message level. With SQL Server, because every SQL database is different, we just work at the database level. So it's database level backup for SQL. Brad writes, I think this product would definitely meet our needs. Brad, that's fantastic. JR says he's very interested. John says, how much storage is that for $129 a month? John says that everything we saw today is $129 a month, 250 gigs of cloud space, server backup for SQL, Exchange ground recovery, even the central management and monitoring, which you may or may not need. Donna says that she's already installed and is running the program. Terrific. Donna, do you have any questions that we can answer for you? Dominic wrote, you've listed some competitive products for the home small business. What are the competitive products for ServerSave or business? Dominic, Backup Exec from Symantec would be the major competitor. And so we're a very channel-focused company. We've got 1,000 MSP partners. many of whom have sort of left Symantec, who used to sell backup exec and have come to SOS. So that's really the product that we have in our targets. They're the biggest product on the market. They're absurdly expensive. Their product's not that powerful, and we are really focused on sort of bringing information to people like yourselves that you can do better backup at a much better price than some of the more enterprisey products that have got market dominance. We're a small company. We're 130 people around the world. Symantec's a multi-billion-dollar global company, so we're not any threat to them anytime soon. But this really is a far better backup product with far more protection for your business at an excellent price. So we've got some other questions here. Brad writes, is the product licensed differently for different products? Brad, no. You just get one server license and you can use it for anything. So the server licenses are all inclusive. Worry asks, how does your tech support look like? Worry, so we've got 24 by 5 technical support. That's phone, chat, email, ticket, and remote desktop support, so they can log in and fix any issue you've got. The phone support and the remote desktop support is only for our business customers and our partners, but everybody on today's line is here to talk about ServerSave, which is our business product, so you get the top tier of support from SOS. John writes, we're ready to deploy for multiple clients next month. John, terrific. John, are you a partner of ours by any chance, or are you just looking at buying a couple of these seats? Because we've got a partnership program you might be interested in. Steve writes, I've got another client with 3 servers. How much per month for that product? Steve, again, are you a partner of ours, or are you looking to be a partner? Because, so we usually run partner webinars in this slot. And today we're running a direct webinar, but our partner pricing is very, very different with very, very large discounts.
And certainly, Steve, we can give you the difference and benefits of going in either direction. And a few additional questions we would have for you to illustrate which one would be the best pathway. So after this, we can take a look at that. And if the answer is you just want to pick up a few direct accounts for those partners, excellent. We can facilitate that as well.
Right. So John, we've got a few people here who are sort of IT guys by the looks of things. We've got John who says he's going to be a partner. That's great. Steve, who's not a partner but might be interested in it at some point. Dominique is asking what is a partner. So for anybody on the line who's an IT reseller or MSP or VAR, SOS is largely a channel company. This webinar I'm usually in here shilling about our partner program. We've got nearly 1,000 MSP partners around the world, a few thousand affiliate partners. So most of our sales actually go through the channel. So if you are a reseller or you have clients and customers, you should definitely talk to Jeff about that and talk to one of our partner specialists. We've got a partner program where you can buy volume licenses at a deep discount.
And if you don't have a representative here at SOS that you've been speaking to, please let us know, and we will make sure that you get one to talk to.
Well, let's just use the question tool. Who among you is interested in learning more about our partner program? Let us know, and we'll get in touch with you. While you're all doing that, we've got some other questions here. Worry asks, are the versions of the backup keep forever counted toward our quota? No, they are not. We give that to you for free. For example, if we have a 500 gigabyte server, is the 500 gigabyte quota we pay for the data in our server, or does it include several versions of the backups? Where you just pay for what the data is on your server. Everything else we provide to you for free. Debbie writes, I'm interested in the product. We have a Win2K3 server. We want to possibly change to Mac, but we need a backup soon. So would the changeover be a nightmare when we incorporate a new computer system? Well, Debbie, I mean, I don't know what sort of business you're in, so I don't know about the decision to move from the Windows server to a Mac-based server. Wouldn't be the direction I'd take personally. But we've got a backup product as well. So if you wanted to back up your data from your Windows box to our cloud, you can then recover on your new Mac server. Or if you end up getting another Windows server, then of course we can back that up too. Shane asks, can the software back up live QuickBooks data? Shane, absolutely. So pretty much any live data on a file folder endpoint we can back up with our open file backup, whether that's Outlook, QuickBooks. They're sort of the 2 most common things we get asked about. Shane asked, with the business version. Shane, yes, absolutely. Question here from JR. Currently using Rackspace as our general data access and backup. And we use a MAT drive for our employees to access file data during the day. Can I have a MAT drive to access data instead of web portal? JR, not with SOS Online Backup. with SOS Collaborate, we've got a file syncing and sharing product that does a similar thing. It doesn't do a map drive, but it does do a folder on their computer, just like Dropbox or Box.net. So you might be interested in our Collaborate product. Shane asked what our back-end infrastructure looks like. Shane, I've got a couple of slides on that. So our global data center footprint looks like this. So you can see we've got data centers around the world. Most of our data centers are in North America. LA, Dallas, Houston, Toronto are our on-continent data centers. We've got facilities in London, Kiev, Chennai, and Melbourne, Australia as well. If you've got any other questions on that, just let me know.
An important note on that, JR, is all these data centers are SSAE 16 certified, which is the highest level accredited, so that the data infrastructure is exceptionally secure.
Shane asked, do you still use EMC arrays for storage? That's an interesting question, Shane. I'm not sure when we used EMC arrays for storage. We use Dell arrays, some of which are Dell, in fact, OEMs from EMC. But most of, Dell these days doesn't, we've never bought directly from EMC. We mainly use Dell, we've used some other things in the past. None of that really matters from where you're sitting, I don't think, because our software is what does the work. Our software is what ensures the redundancy, the encryption, the compression. So, we use a variety of storage on the back end, but mainly Dell. And in some cases, Dell gets from EMC, but that's probably too much information. Terrific. All right, we don't seem to have a whole lot more questions on the line. We'll be here for a few more minutes if anybody's got any more questions. If you'd like us to send you some more information about the ServerSave product or the partner program, just type it in right now. I'd like more information about ServerSave, or I'd like more information about the partner program. Remember, you've got to use the questions tool to go in there off that Kindle. So if you haven't said anything so far, now's the time to do it. Shane also asks, the utility you show to monitor all clients and to install software to the clients from, how do the clients actually receive the install package? Shane, typically you just send them an email link if you're going to get them to install it themselves. Some IT guys will install it for the customer. There's also an MSI, so if you're using something like Active Directory Group Policy, you can roll it out centrally. That MSI will work with all of the major remote installation technologies and products. So a few different ways. To be honest, most people just have their users install the product. It's a pretty simple installation process. Steve says, what is the pilot program? Steve, I think you mean the partner program. And Jeff can get you more information after the webinar about our partner program if that's something you'd like to learn more about. Okay, JR is going to be talking to Frank. Dominic writes, do you run webinars for small businesses' home products? Dominic, not really, but that's something we'd look at in the future. If we had the interest. Shane writes, do you often send a hard disk with bare metal images to customers in disaster recovery situations? Shane, absolutely. It's called our Physical Media Recovery Service, PMR. We also have a Physical Media Upload Service where you can seed the first backup onto a hard disk drive and send that to us, and we'll upload it to the cloud. All right, well, looks like we're out of questions. Well, thanks, folks, for listening. One more question for Steve. Do you backup virtual machines? Steve, yes, we do. So the product will work nicely with ESX and with Hyper-V. We don't connect natively to either of the hypervisor infrastructures, so we'd actually need those images, those VMDKs in the case of ESX, to be available on the network for our software to read, and then we'll push them to the cloud. All right, it looks like we're out of questions. Well, thanks everybody for your attention. Jeff and his people are going to be in touch with you if you're interested in getting more information about ServerSave. I think you should all get a trial and at least use the product, see how easy it is to use. And again, if there's anything else we can help you with, we'll be sitting here for a few more minutes to take any questions that come through. Shane's got a question. Have you considered partnering with Dell so that this product can be sold at point of sale? Shane, we'd love to do that, but I think Dell's got other ideas. They just bought Aperture, which is a competitor of ours and a very large backup company. But feel free to write Dell and tell them they should consider that.
Yeah.
Steve's got a few questions. Should I call in on the webinar line? Oh, I'm sorry, everybody. Let me type in the free call number. You can call in on 877-896-3611. That's the free call number in North America.
Steve, if you're available, I'll have somebody reach out to you right now.
And then the Jeff, do you know the direct dial number? It's +1310.
I wrote it down. So actually, hold on a second here. It is 310-878-2626.
You know what? Let's go one better and let's pull up the SOS website.
That sounds good.
And at the bottom of the SOS website, we go to Contact Us, and it's right here. So if you're outside of North America, you can dial directly +1-310-878-2626. Great. All right. Well, thanks everybody for your attention. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
Thank you.